Happy Saturday morning, everybody. It's like 7:45. I'm up earlier than I should be. I've been up for a while, actually, and part of that's anticipation for this video. I sound completely freaking ratty this morning. Haven't eaten, haven't had any coffee yet, so it's Captain Krabby instead of explicit FPV this morning. As you guys know, I've been rebuilding TaTaz. I put it on the Source 1 frame, and I could not be more pleasantly surprised how well this build went together. This is probably one of the more faster builds I've ever done, even though it took a couple days because of parts and whatnot. I sort of had it already put together, but it really didn't save any time. If you're new to the channel and this is the first time you're seeing this build called TaTaz, I'll get into that again some other time, but the board came out of another quad. I needed a frame that I could use a GoPro mount and easily attach it to and not have a freaking crazy angle on it. This, I guess, was designed to do a top mount battery. I have opted out of that. I kind of like how it looks nice and clean. I put a stubby antenna I took off of Enigma, one of the other quads that doesn't need it. This one I think looks better. I have the caddx ratel Starlight, which I just made sure it worked. So I popped on the goggles and man, the image is epic. I still have to go in and attach. I have to change the settings and use this cool little joystick thing here. I have to find a way to fix this. I'm probably going to run it inside here, so that way I can access it anytime. I don't know, there's a couple options I may do. I finished it last night after the family had dinner and everyone relaxed. My little one was tired. Wifey said, go finish your project. I know you want to get it done. So like I said, I wired in the caddx ratel. You can't see in the wiring. I don't think I can zoom in. No. On the back there's a ground and VCC, which is full voltage, going through here that comes from the battery. So I ran that right to there. So I should turn on the OSD and get the voltage and stuff that I want. Receiver, it's becoming a trend now. Put it all the way in the back and did the little antennas. A little bit of glue I got to clean up because I just finished it and got it done and walked away from it. So got the antennas coming out the back. Wires, I have the tiny LEDs, actually the brand, ran in line like I did on the other one. Tried to make the wires as clean as possible. And something I did that you can see, normally it would drive me nuts, but I put a little bit of hot glue right over the end of the wires, just where they kind of meet the frame, and it holds them in place. If you're going fast, brush tree branches, God knows what you're doing, or crash, it's going to help hold it in place. Yes, you can see it. Yeah, it drives me a little nuts, but I'm okay with it. It's going to be in the air. It's going to be away from people. I can't stare at it I'm not right on top of it like I am right now. Like I said, I just got to clean up some of the hairs from the glue. I'm very, very pleased with how it came out. Super clean. The only wire you can really see in there is the antenna wire that is running across. The VTX is sitting on top where it was on the other one. And I had to switch to a longer antenna wire, the IPX to RPSMA, I believe. But you can see it, and you can see some of the glue on there. I'm going to live with it. It's going to keep the wires. Let's see if we can focus. I'm only doing this one here and here. There you go. You can see a little bit of glue in there and some of the wires, but I mean, hey, what are you going to do? The wires for the receiver are run inside, and I really got to emphasize on how easy it is to set it up. I've said it a couple times. I'm going to say it again. If you're new into this and you're not comfortable with Betaflight and setting up your controller, like I said, and I talked about it before, that was a huge hang up for me. Spectrum's kind of pain in the balls, and supposedly you can go inside here, and let's say you don't like this switch, you can shut it off, and then you can activate this one if you want, because some quads will register this guy, and then for whatever reason, now most of the quads are becoming sorry about that, the acro, what do you call it, angle mode, acro, and beeper. That's what I want all in the same, and I've been doing it back here because it's just a little easier. As soon as I come into land, that's another ADD moment. When I come into land, I go from acro, just as I'm coming in 10-15 feet away, and put it in level mode, acro, angle mode, and that's how I land. Much easier to do, super easy. Anyway, With that being said, with trying to set that up, it's a pain in the balls. But with the SpeedyBee app you can get on your phone, I went in and I had the quad set up in probably under 5 minutes. All my rates were already set because of this being in another quad, so that was there. But I had to change the receiver over to, S-Bus Spectrum serial receiver. It's like 2048 for Spectrum. And then going in and set and make sure your switches are where they need to be and reversed and all that fun stuff. The app is super intuitive. So when you go in and you want to pick your arm switch, instead of having to know what number switch or A, B, assuming that the switch is active, you just go in here, and when you're on that tab, you hit auto, and then you go on whatever switch you want, and then boom, it tells you in the bar which one is moving, and then where you need to put it to make it work. Simple, absolutely simple. Like I said, it took about 5 minutes. I did just a very, very quick 10-second pop test in my room here, just to make sure the quad lifted off the ground and it turned in the directions that you want. And that's an important thing too. When you go into, after you're bound in the app or on Betaflight, and you see the tabs, so when you throttle up and down, you see the bars moving, be very conscious that when you, especially, it's usually Spectrum, I don't know if it's with anybody else, but yaw and roll tend to be backwards. So in here, you can actually see the little tab and you can flip it. So when you're watching your bars, when you go like that on yaw, the bar will go in that direction and then it'll go back. And I'm glad I caught that because I was exhausted and just wanted to finish up. But so hopefully today I should be able to get out and do a little bit of a flight test. I want to get the GoPro on there just so you guys can see a little bit of the footage. It's 7 degrees right now, so I don't feel like doing it right now. I don't feel like going to Home Depot right now. I want to get some eggs and some bacon and some freaking caffeine in me before I do any of that. Worst case scenario, tomorrow. I can't wait. Like I said, that little pop test, these motors are so quiet, so smooth. Even with these obnoxious props, that hum that they make, it was quiet. Wife is upstairs laying down with I say little one, she's 6 now, but laying down with her, and man, look at the dust, fucking cats. She didn't even know I did it, so that's pretty cool. I don't know what else to. Got the Sherlock grip tape. I made sure I went and Loctite all of the screws along the bottom, so this thing should be brick. And I think this is actually heavier than the original TaTaz. I thought that was heavy, but this thing's a tank. And then I only run the China line, either the yellow, I call them the orange juice, or these, the 1500 milliamps. So it's a heavier battery. Get a great flight time. And again, I'm not a mega aggressive flyer, so I'm not hardcore throttle a lot. So man, I'm thinking with Enigma now, I'm getting 6 minutes, 20 seconds flight time, especially with these, because very unaggressive prop. I'm going to do a couple different props on this to see how it flies. Might have to change the tune just a little bit based on the frame and the setup and how it flies, and then try some other props and see what I like out of it, so I get enough aggressiveness out of the prop but also efficiency. But again, I am not a freaking racer. I am not Mr. Steel, so I'm flipping and jumping around all over the place. So my flight style is much more laid back, but that's fine. I enjoy it. That's all that matters. Do a little range testing with it, do the standard things, get this guy dialed in, and I am looking forward. I said I have this camera on Mr. Cinematic, and I love how much more I can see. It makes a difference when you're doing cinematic stuff and you're going through trees and you want to be able to see every single little twig. I cannot advertise enough how much I love that camera. So being on here, I can get a little more ballsy with some of the things you're doing, going through trees and stuff. And supposedly it's mega badass in low light. I don't think, other than just pop testing it outside with that one, and it's been a while, but from what I hear, this thing will be super cool. So if I do some, sunsetting type flights and stuff like that, where I'll be able to see even better, and probably going to switch. It's the Foxeer Monster V2. Great camera, but you want to talk about it's primitive compared to what you get out of these camera. I did it was like a sunset, golden hour kind of flight with that, just flying around the yard, and then that transition from super bright, like going over the house and the sun, it gets very dark, and I'm sure there's more settings I could change in it, but it's just absolutely not up to par anymore. And I said, even the cat, I think that's a turbo. I forget what the hell the full size one is. I might end up swapping that. So other than that, I think I'm good for builds for the rest of the year. I got enough to fly here, and I'm thinking about maybe even doing a giveaway. So we'll see. But let me get some caffeine and food in me. You guys have a great morning. Hope you guys had a wonderful Valentine's Day with your loved ones. And I hopefully going to get out and do some flying today. I need it. I know tomorrow's supposed to be 40 something. So maybe we get some airsofting in tomorrow too. That'd be cool. But anyway, let me know what you think of the build. I am very, very pleased. I wish I had batteries. I'd weigh the thing for you, but I mean, just pick a cinder block up, and that's what this feels like. I don't care if it's heavy. Sometimes the heavier, well, in the wind, I think it'll do better, and it'll have a lot of momentum. So carrying, and that's the way the other one was, man. You'd thrust up on the throttle and just let it go, and you just kept floating and floating and floating and floating and floating. You could just hang upside down forever. That's crazy considering how heavy it was. But it should be a great flyer and a wonderful addition to the family of freaks over here on the shelves. Speaking of that, I'm hopefully going to get some more shelves today so I can finish this freaking thing. But yeah, I will stop talking. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your breakfast. Enjoy your day. Peace out.